Hey, today we're going to talk about how we simplify algebraic fractions. Now, all an algebraic fraction is just a fraction that's got some algebra in it. Might have some letters, some pronumerals. So there's nothing fancy. You know about fractions. In fact, here's one. Simplify 8x over 2. So often you've got an algebraic fraction, but you can break it down to something a bit simpler. Let's go through the process. I'm going to start with my fraction, 8x over 2. And here's the way I like to do it. I like to, just slurp the numbers out the front. So bring the numbers out to the front. Quite okay to do that. If I'm going to do it again, take the numbers and just kind of separate them from the letter part of the fraction. The reason I can do that is now I can look at that and I go, well, 8 over 2, that's just 4. Right? So this bit becomes 4. This bit stays as an x. I've simplified it down to 4x. Done. That was too easy. What about this one? 3m over 21p. Can we simplify this? It's going to take the exact same kind of process. I'm going to slurp those numbers out the front and split this into a couple of pieces. Okay, so all I've done is I've still got my 3m on the top and my 21p on the bottom, but I've just kind of broken that fraction into two pieces, which I'm quite allowed to do, because if I put those things back together, I've still got the same thing, 3m over 21p. So now I can deal with the number bit on its own, 3 over 21. Now, that fraction, I can simplify that down to the equivalent fraction of 1 over 7. In other words, I can see that 3 fits into 3 once, and it fits into 21 7 times. Now, if you're not that great with your simplifying fractions, you could use your scientific calculator and just put that in as a fraction. 3 over 21, hit the equals button, and your calculator will do that simplifying for you. Okay, so I can see that that fraction has the equivalent fraction of 1 over 7. Now I'm just going to smudge them back together. Like I pull the numbers out to start with, I'm just going to sort of just put them back together, and I can see now I've got it down to 1m over 7p. But remember, in algebra, if there's a 1 in front of a letter, we just don't write it. So we're just going to disappear that 1. My answer is m over 7p. All right. One more one that looks a little bit more complicated, but the ideas are the same, except for one extra little bit we're going to throw into this. Right, just like we've been doing, we're going to slurp those numbers out to the front and keep the letters separate. Now I'm going to work on this bit, the letters bit. Now x squared is x times x. Y cubed is y times y times y. So I'm going to rewrite those out like this. Okay, instead of having the index form, x squared is just x times x. Y cubed is y, 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 or y times y times y. The reason I do that is I'm looking for pairs on the top and bottom that I can cancel out. So if there's a pair of the same letter on the top and bottom, like in this case I can see the x's, I can cancel one on the top, one on the bottom. I can do the same with a y. I can take one from the top, cancel it out with one on the bottom. What that leaves me with now is x, y, y on the top, and there's nothing on the bottom. I've cancelled both of those out. I can write y, y as y squared, so let's do that. And now let's just, actually we're going to deal with the numbers, right? Now that I've tidied up all of this part, minus 12 divided by 2, well, 12 divided by 2 is 6, but I've got a negative divided by a positive, so that will give me an answer of negative 6, and just smudge them back together. The answer is minus 6xy squared. I hope you had fun with that. I hope that makes sense. Have a go at some practice questions. Well done.